Welcome back to another Marvel Legends UK action figure review. Today we are going to be reviewing the final figure from the Build-A-Figure wave, which is the Build-A-Figure itself, the Wendigo. Here we go. So here we are about to review the Wendigo Build-A-Figure from the Wendigo Build-A-Figure wave himself, and first impressions of the figure. We've had him before from the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure wave. He does show a significant number of pieces with that Build-A-Figure, minus a couple of rubber pieces that we've got and the head sculpt as well. All in all, though, he is a really nice looking figure. We can army build him, as we know. We've in some of the comic book stories there are multiple Wendigos. The articulation on him is really good. It's not hindered too much for a big Build-A-Figure. What we have noticed with Hasbro as well is they seem to be going down the monster route when it comes to Build-A-Figures. We've had a number of monster-like figures from Hasbro over the last few waves, this one being the most recent one. The actual figure aesthetics are really nice. This blue shading throughout on the shins, on the top of the feet, on the back of the hands, on the forearms, on the ab crunch. As you can see, there's like a light blue shading. It does share, like I say, a lot of parts with the Sasquatch, which we'll go through in a minute. One thing that is really impressive on this figure is the actual head itself. It is quite a menacing looking guy. As you can see, the teeth are done superbly, covered in like blood splashes. You can see that with the camera. A lot of shading around the eyes to give the abominable effect, the snow-like creature. It's showing some jowls that look very similar to a Wolverine mutton chops as well. The hair is a nice soft pliable plastic, so it does move. It doesn't hinder the articulation of the head, which in my opinion this approach should potentially or probably be used for female figures. It does feel a little bit thin, but at the same time it doesn't hinder the movement, which is really good. In terms of the articulation, we've seen this before on the Sasquatch. The arms are hindered for doing a full 360 with this new shoulder piece, which is like a rubber piece which is stuck to the figure. Again, we've seen this rubber effect on multiple figures now, most recently the Nightcrawler, where it's not a stiff plastic, it's more of a soft rubbery material, so you can move the arms up and you can force it around if you really want to, but like I said, in terms of getting the arms around 360, you do have to move or manipulate that rubber shoulder piece. Bicep swivel is nice and easy to use. It has a 90-degree elbow on both sides. The hands are on a hinge. Again, no issues there in terms of the hinge joint in the hand. We've got the thigh cut, we've got double jointed knees, are hindered slightly with the actual sculpt of the figure itself. Similarly with the feet, we have got full pivot and rotation of the actual feet itself, so again not hindered too much, which is cool for a big guy. And then the tail is a rubbery plastic, no bendy wire, but it's a nice rubbery plastic that can be manipulated around. It doesn't stay in shape when you do move it, however, and then it's on like a pin, so we can get some rotation. So that just basically plugs onto the back of his butt, like so. There we go. So that's plugged in. So yeah, all in all, it's a nice looking figure. I do have the original Wendigo from the Hulk set from a number of years ago. I'm still in two minds whether or not this guy is going to be taking that place. What I'm going to do now is a couple of comparisons with the Wendigo against the Sasquatch. Here's a Sasquatch. As you can see, two menacing looking Build-A-Figures, very similar in terms of what pieces they share. We've got the same arm pieces, just different decor. The hands are different, which is good to see. This rubber piece here is different on both figures. The heads are obviously different. Got two different head types. This guy obviously doesn't have a pin on the back because he's no tail. But other than that, other than the hands and the rubber piece and the head and the feet too. So if we just have a look at the feet, we've got like a monkey-like foot for Sasquatch, and then we've got more pointy toes for the Wendigo. So slight significant differences, but more or less the same figure when it comes to the legs, the shins, the forearms, the biceps, the chest piece. It's all the same figure. So Hasbro did manage to get a reuse out of the unsold Sasquatch parts, or parts that have been laying around the factory, or another reuse out of the mould, which they like to do. Next up, we've got the original Wendigo. Let's get them in shot. So the original Wendigo, as you can see, this guy was from the Hulk wave. I think it was a Hulk build figure wave, Fing Fang Foom. If I'm wrong, comment in the section below. Pretty sure he was. I really do like the way this figure looks. The head is perfect. It does have a Hulkish like look to it. But actually having the two figures in hand now, I can see why this one will probably be more appealing to collectors. This guy's articulation is just hindered everywhere. We've got the old style leg joints, which on this figure are pretty stiff. We've got double jointed knees, which are fine. We have got some ankle rocker. I can tell how long I've not actually unpaused this guy for. So we have got like a ball swivel, not so much of a pivot, so that's hindered in that respect. We have got like a diaphragm joint, which again gives us some decent movement, not a great deal, but gives us some decent movement. The arms itself, again hindered by articulation, very, very stiff. Can't get it much closer to the body due to the way that the torso is sculpted. There isn't a bicep swivel, so it's swivel from the elbow. This guy does, well, he did go for a significant amount of money as well, because it was so hard to find. I think I paid about £70 for him originally. We've got the wrist hinges, which is pretty cool, and there is a swivel in there as well. Swivel at the elbow, bend at the elbow. The head is hindered by all this hair piece which runs down the back, but you can look forward a significant amount. Just obviously looking back, you can't look any further than that. Similarly, when it comes to turning his head, it's very limited movement, or you can turn it but it does look down slightly. And then there's the tail on this one, which is a hard plastic, has zero articulation in it. Does come off apparently. It's the first time I've done that, so that does come off. There you go, clip back on. So yeah, all in all, I think when it comes to the comparisons of the figures, the Hasbro one wins hands down with the way the articulation is. I still prefer the way that this guy looks in terms of the facial appearance, but all in all, this figure, which was a really difficult figure to get a hold of here in the UK, quite a rare breed, is now being made obsolete by the new Wendigo. So yeah, all in all, it's been a really good wave. We'll put a picture up on YouTube to see which figure you prefer best out of the wave, like a poll. Be good if you guys could get involved with that. Rank from best to worst or worst to best. We've not decided. And then we'll obviously rate the wave as well in terms of our personal preference when it comes to the figures. I hope you've enjoyed this action figure wave review. Again, we've got more reviews coming up later on this week. We've got the Juggernaut 2-pack to review, the Wolverine 2-pack to review, and then more lines from the 80th anniversary series as well. Not to mention any more that seem to come out between now and the end of August. So that's everything from Marvel Legends UK team. Thanks very much for tuning in, subscribing, stay safe, keep collecting. Bye.